Hi, my name is Nick Pfau, and I'm going to be creating Italian dressing, which is an emulsion, then marinating pork in it, and then browning that pork to create a very delicious entree. Okay, well before I get started, I just want to say that I'm working on a very clean, wiped off surface here. All these bowls and glasses have been rinsed in hot water and soap. But what I've got here is a glass made for making vinaigrettes, and it actually has the lines for where I need to pour the vinegar, water, and oil. I don't know if you can see that. I'm working with Pompian red wine vinegar, a little bit of water, and some CWP pure vegetable oil, and some pre-packaged good seasonings Italian dressing mix. Okay, so as I pour these in, the vinegar and water will mix together, but when I pour the oil in, these liquids will not mix together because they are immiscible. So let me go ahead and pour these in. I'm going to fill the vinegar to the line that says V. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and pour in a little bit of water just to the W line, which is right above the V. That's all needed. So that mixed together right there. Those are not immiscible. But I'm going to pour this oil in. Alright, you can already see the oil droplets forming into the solution here. Alright, if you can see, the oil is resting on top of the vinegar right now, because so once I mix this together, and there will be a whole bunch of little oil droplets, but everything will maintain their own distinct characteristics, which defines an emulsion. Alright, now I'm just going to add in the pre-packaged Italian seasoning into the mix. Okay. Throw on the lid here. Maybe. Alright. Now once I shake this mixture, it will be homogeneous. But really, there are tiny oil droplets within the vinegar. And given enough time, they will coagulate back to the top, and it will cease to be an emulsion until it's mixed again. So right now, as you can see, the vinegar and the oil, it all just looks like one. You can't even tell the difference between the two liquids. But like I said, given enough time, the oil will rise back to the top, because fats will do everything they can to not touch water. Therefore, they will separate. Alright, so a little more scientifically, what we have here is a continuous phase, which was the red wine vinegar, and the dispersion phase, which is our oil. And I added shearing power, which is just shaking it, to disperse our dispersion phase into our continuous phase, and thus creating an emulsified state. Okay, so I've got my one pork chop here, and I'm going to pour my Italian dressing emulsion into the bowl and onto the pork chop. Just gonna let it marinate for about an hour. I know I should leave it overnight, but just for timing purposes, just do about an hour should be good. And then I'm gonna brown it and create a nice meal tonight. Okay, so what I've done right now is I've gotten a pan and I've been heating it for a little bit. And I threw the non-stick vegetable oil on it just to make this process a little bit easier. So, with the marinated pork, it's been marinating for about an hour or so right now. I'm going to go ahead and throw it onto the pan. Alright, hopefully you can hear me over all the sizzle. So, right now what I've done is started the non-enzymatic Maillard reaction. The Maillard reaction, which is named after French scientist Louis Camille Maillard, is the process of how sugars and amino acids will combine to create aromatic compounds. These compounds created will depend upon the cooking time and temperature and the types of sugars and amino acids added. So right now, I am on one of the higher settings of the heat. I'm going to turn it down a little bit, probably around 7 out of a 10 scale, just so that I can have a nice, through and through cook. I'm actually going to turn down just a little bit more, down to about 5. It's cooking a little fast on there, but so there's a process to this Maillard reaction. It starts with the amino acids, it starts with the reaction of an amine group with a reducing sugar, followed by the Amadori rearrangement, which will get us to a ketose. Next, dehydration, cyclization, and polymerization are going to provide us with a vast array of odors as the reaction proceeds. Then there's a chemical reaction which converts the alpha amino acid into an aldehyde, and this is called Strecker degradation. And finally, there's a reaction of the intermediate products resulting in a flavor and the brown pigment of the pork. As you can see, maybe see, there's already some browning to this pork. And that's why I kind of turned down the heat a little bit, because I want to make sure that I'm not, feeding myself raw pork in the center with just burn on the outside. So the typical reaction is at 80 to 100 degrees Celsius while cooking for about 2 to 10 minutes. The brownish solid that will appear on the pork are called melaninoids, which could be a good carcinogenic material for the GI tract. So I'm going to continue cooking this and try not to burn it, and we'll see what it looks like after a little bit here. Alright, I'll go ahead and pause it and I'll show the final result at the end. Alright, so I just let it cook not even much longer after I stopped the video, but this is the final result. You can see all the browning due to the Maillard reaction. It looks delicious, and I'm very excited to try some. So yeah, thanks for the great semester, and I hope you enjoy this video.